Thanks, Shane. Thanks, worship team. You gonna stand up here so I'm not so nervous? Oh, yeah. No, it's the missions committee Sunday, and it's going to be a little bit of a different service today, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Like we were just singing in the songs, we want God to be glorified in this service, and we've had people that have gone out that we just want to let them explain and share what they've done through God's leading, and just so you guys can see where God is moving and acting. Let me open the service with prayer, and then I'll call my first set of people up. But Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for the work that you do through us, your people, your broken vessels. Lord God, may your Spirit just rest on us in this time, and may we hear what you're doing. May it settle in our hearts, and may we also have the opportunity to serve with our hands upon hearing different opportunities that are coming up. So we just ask you to be with all those that are coming up to speak, and that they wouldn't be nervous. In your name, amen. So the first group I wanted to call up is the Barron family, the Spolstra family, and Annette Koistra, if you want Annette. Annette was a busy gal this last year. And Matt Rosema, I thought I saw another shirt back there. Here's one. So I wanted them to start because I wanted to show how many people, not all of them are here yet. There's a few Spolstras missing, aren't there? But look at this. 2 families and a grandma from our church. There we go. So I'm going to hand it over to the group.
Yeah, so we're just blessed to be able to be a part of this trip. Something that Amanda and I were praying for, and just looking for opportunities for our kids to serve and be a part of a missions trip. So Mount of Olives came up, and it is a geographical place in Israel, but that's not where we went. There's a children's orphanage just about an hour south of Ensenada on the Baja, and it's a place that has been in operation for about 20 years now. By the Lord's grace, and over the years, there's been several teams that have come down there to either help build the mission building and the different orphanage homes that the kids live in. So it's an orphanage, where there's different houses with house parents that raise these kids, and there's a lot of community involvement in that. Big shout out to First Reformed Church that they've continued to support over the years this mission, and we were able to jump on a trip with them that they had all planned out. And so we weren't really sure what we were getting into until we got down there, and it was special. It was really amazing to be a part of the Lord's work down there. It's a really well-supported place that has been well-run, and we were able to be plugged into their ministry. So we were able to go out. As you can see some of these pictures, there's a couple building projects that we're a part of, as well as ministering to the kids in the orphanage itself. So as the years have gone on, the kids in the orphanage have grown, and some of them even serve as house parents now. And it's just neat to see the support of this mission down there, and to see the lives changed and the community impact. So we're just really blessed to experience that and be a small part of it. So really encouraged to see what God's doing down there. And
Yeah, and I would just add, what a joy it was to bring our families down. Kevin mentioned that, but I would just encourage anybody raising up families, what an awesome opportunity. When things like this come up, I'm so glad that we jumped on it, because to experience it through my perspective is one thing, but to experience it through the perspective of each of my family members there at the same time just really added a whole other level of richness to this opportunity. One quick story I'll share, and that is we had an opportunity to go visit some migrant camps. These are just people living in real poverty. They kind of have to move where there's work, and so never really set up a true home. And we went to the grocery store. We got some bags of goodies to kind of hand out to the different stops. And I was going to ask Joy, what is one thing that you remember noticing when we made one of those stops? Remember what you told me in the car on the way here about their feet?
Oh, they had no shoes.
Yeah. So here I don't know if any of these pictures reflect I'm sure some of them do, but I mean, the poorest of the poor. So also, what did you notice about where they had to go to the bathroom?
And buckets.
Yeah, I mean, there is basically outhouses with boards over. So anyways, we're standing there, we're handing out some of these goodies, and then some people had the foresight to go to Little Red Wagon or whatever it is and bring in clothing of different sizes and little shoes. And I'll never forget one little girl and her mom, probably a teenage mom, comes up, and this little girl has no shoes on her feet. We were there, and the weather was really not that nice when we were there. You think it's always sunny in Mexico, but it was kind of cold that day. I was wearing my coat, several others were, and this little girl, probably 3 or 4 years old, has no shoes on her feet. And there's this little pair of pink tennis shoes that were handed out, and to just see the little girl's face light up as she's given this pink pair of shoes. And I can only imagine what's going through the heart and the mind of the mother. You know, is she praying that morning, God, I don't know how I'm going to provide for my kids. I can't do it. You need to. I don't know what's going on in the hearts and the minds, but I do know that we were blessed being able to be used by God to provide just a pair of shoes that day. And then to hear about it from my little girl later when we're asking, like, hey, what did you notice about, about those stops and those kids, and to hear that she's noticing some of the same things that I noticed, but from her perspective, so powerful.
So, I'm Matt Rosema, and it was truly a blessing to go down. I'm part of FRC Church and known Spoolstras and Barons for many years now, and it was awesome for the two churches to come together. And it doesn't matter where our boundaries or our walls are, we are all brothers and sisters of Christ. And to go down there to give a little bit, the director of Mount of Olives Children's Orphanage is my brother Bill. 20 years ago, it was started by Daryl Graham, and everything you see in these pictures from at the facility was built by mission people. You know, us going down. Nothing would be there if we didn't go. So, yeah, it is. If you ever had it's just beautiful there. You're literally up on a mountain, overlooking a valley. You're in farm country, surrounded, overlooking town, and it is just breathtakingly beautiful. But yeah, it was truly amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing, everybody. Kevin, you can stay up here. I love this. I got a wall to hide behind. Did I cut you off, Matt? Did I cut Matt off?
No, we were just going to say, like, if you have an opportunity, whether it's with our church, locally, in Pasco, wherever, just go. Step out of our comfort zones. That was the biggest thing, is like, get out of your comfort zone, see where God is working, and join him there.
All right. Thank you, you guys. You can go to Sunday school now, Joy. Kevin was willing to stand up here with me. He's my big hero. The next group I'd like to call up is the younger folks that went on mission, Sean and Caden and the Lamperes ladies. If you want to come up. Ooh, you're bringing a special guest. I like this. So I'm the gentleman that went to Pasco go first, and we weren't quite sure what to talk about, so they gave me their Google OneDrive, and I pulled, I think, 8 pictures off of it so we could get a little information from them from that. So they really trusted me. And then after that, the Lamperes ladies did everything in order so that I can't mess with them. So you were smart and did that the right way. Not that you guys aren't smart, but you really trust me. So the first question, who went on the trip?
I think it was, well, everybody in the picture. So
Who is that though, Sean?
we got Frank, Shane, Maggie, Sierra, Thomas, Karsten, myself, and Caden. And then we were joined later by Al Kusat, or the Kusats, Al and Naomi. Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. And the next slide is going to show us somebody driving. Now, were his hands on 10 and 2 the whole time?
Yeah.
No? Okay. How
Yeah.
long was the drive to Pasco from here?
Like 8 hours? 7, 8 hours?
Well, it's supposed to be 5. But by
Oh,
the time we
5
got
hours
all
then,
the
yeah.
stops, it was a long
Felt
time.
like
Probably like 6, 7 hours.
6, 7 hours.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The next slide. Oh.
I don't care about the one hand on the steering wheel, but that in that picture, that was the 1 second that Shane was looking at the road and not Maggie.
Oh, jeez. Oh, hey, hey. Uh-oh. All right. Let's go to the next picture, Katie. What is going on here? What kind of project is this?
Okay, so this is one of the projects we did down there. They had 2 buildings, and one was their main church building, and then this was a second one that was getting used mostly for storage, but they wanted to clear it out and start using it for other things. So this room was just bare bricks, and we went in there to paint it so it was like usable for like a classroom or something. I think was what the goal was there.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. And the next picture, Katie? Oh, I see some action here. Caden, what is going on here?
This wall was very barren. You can see like in the back there was pipes sticking out of the wall, so we put panels up on the first bottom half of the wall to make it look a little bit nicer and
Awesome.
cleaner.
Yeah. And he's got Frank working on the ground for you. So what is going on in this picture?
Awesome. This was when we had it was like a barbecue. Yeah, we had a little barbecue with the community just to kind of, I don't know, yeah, grow the community, yeah. Yeah.
I think there was some singing in a service maybe. I had a couple other pictures I didn't
Yeah, that
add
was
in.
led
but
by Maggie and Shane, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then who were the people in the picture? You can't see it, but there was some folks in a red outfit in one of the pictures that I didn't put on there. I thought about it, but I didn't. You don't remember that? Okay. Was that?
Just members of the church that
Oh,
were
cool.
singing for us.
Okay. Was there a special event that happened that week? It looks like somebody maybe had a. So are you 16 this year?
Yeah, I'll be 16
Perfect.
in June.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, that was the last day we were there. It was my 15th
Okay.
birthday.
Yeah. All right. So if you were to encourage somebody to go to Pasco this year, because Al's actually over there talking to Pastor Jimmy right now to get the next mission set up, what would you encourage them? How would you encourage them to go and why?
The church is in a very sketchy neighborhood, and it still needs a lot of work in the church. We were actually the first missions group that's been there since Pastor Jimmy's been there. And so I would just encourage you to think about going just to, that way you can help shine a light in the community. It's very dark. They're one of the few Spanish churches there, and there's a lot of Spanish people in that area.
You did all that over a weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. One last question. We're missing one person, but I want to know what's going on in this next picture. They trusted me with the Google Drive. I couldn't help it. So was there a stop on the way home, maybe?
Yeah, on the way home, we decided to take a different route, and so we stopped in Leavenworth and did a little bit of sightseeing.
All right, awesome. I was a little worried about Caden's outfit, but we'll talk about that later. All right. Well, thank you so much, men, for coming up and sharing. There is going to be more information about a future trip. Yeah, you guys can sit down, or you can stand up here if you want. So the next group, or the next gals that are going to share, are the Lamperes ladies. I did not get any slides, or mom or dad didn't give me anything, so you are safe.
Okay. All right, thank you. So me and my sister and dad had the opportunity to go to Eagle's Nest. It's located in Sololá, Guatemala. So you can see on the map, it's in the red. It's about 5 hours away from Guatemala City, and it's so pretty there. That picture on the right side is located, so it's on a lake, above a lake. And Eagle's Nest is an orphanage and children's home for kids 0 to 18 years old for the neglected and abused kids of Guatemala.
So how our team helped was we had our group got to split up, and we each took different jobs based on where we needed throughout the week. And so we painted. So in the big picture there, you can see we were painting. And then we also helped move rocks to build a fence, which is in the lower corner there. We also, me and my dad, so my dad's a dentist if you didn't know, we got the opportunity to go into the school and teach the kids how to properly brush and use good dental hygiene. And so we got to give them toothbrushes and toothpaste and floss. And a lot of the kids there, they share one toothbrush per family. So now they each had their own. So we would end our work days at 3 so that we intentionally had time to pour into the kids there. And we saw God working in so many ways there. We saw his provision over the orphanage and the kids. And we saw his love shown through the kids and the workers there.
Yeah, so, can we go to the next slide? Sorry. Thank you. So Estella, so one of the things that the teams get to do is one afternoon we get to go to a house in the local community. Her name is Estella, and her family are supported by Eagle's Nest. So she actually used to work there and then got the opportunity to move out to her own place and have this little restaurant there and serve serve lunch for the teams there one afternoon while we're there. So we get to take tuk-tuks, which you can see in the picture, and that's kind of how the Guatemalans get around, so that's kind of fun to go through the community and kind of just see how the people are. And she cooks us lunch and shows us around her home, which is super cool. So Eagle's Nest has been supporting her for over 10 years, and it was super cool because they actually got to send her daughter to college to become a nurse, which is a huge blessing because that's kind of a rare thing there. And so we got to talk with her, and she got to kind of share a little bit about how that's been for her, and so that was really cool to hear about. And it's just cool to see Eagle's Nest supporting people outside of the orphanage and kind of like through the community. And so yeah, that was just a really cool thing that kind of stuck out to us throughout our week. Sorry, can you go back to the slide before that? Thank you. This one before. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So on average, Eagle's Nest has 25 to 30 kids at a time there. They're all ages, mostly 4 to 12 years old. Soccer is actually a huge deal there, as you can see in the bottom corner. And they call that a concha. It's an enclosed court, and so we all play soccer there. The older boys are really good. Eagle's Nest also has a school on campus that the kids from Eagle's Nest and the local community can attend. So it's a really cool way for all the community to connect. They have grades kindergarten through 8th grade. And it was really a blessing to connect with the kids throughout the week and playing with them. We played soccer and scooters and stuff.
Yeah, so we just want to thank you guys. I know you guys sent down a lot of clothes and items for them, and that was just such a blessing to them, I know, down there. And so we just really appreciate it. And they actually do have a website if you want to learn more about them. So we just thank you guys so much for your support and being able to send us down there. So thank you.
Thank you, ladies. So whether you're a dentist or just have a lot of love in your heart, you can go serve. That's just really cool. And I know even with Kevin has building skills, and he was able to build, and some of us were able to serve by painting and doing other things too. The last set of folks I wanted to have come up was Adela and Liz. And the Paraguay ladies went to Paraguay close to a year ago now, and this is kind of why I was picking on Annette a little bit. She was with this trip as well, but as they make their way up, if there's anybody here that did go on the Paraguay trip, if you want to stand really quick, I can see a couple of you out there. There's Helen, perfect. Maddie, Marilyn. Oh, good to see Marilyn standing. How's that foot? Woohoo! All right, Faith, there we go. I'll hand it over to you two.
Hi, my name's Liz Herringa. Ray and I have been supporters of Diaconia for several years, but it really wasn't until this last fall that I had an opportunity to go down and see firsthand what the ministry really looks like. And let me tell you, it looks great. My takeaway from the trip, I'm supposed to be kind of sharing my takeaway, is yes, it's a well-ran organization, but it's a ministry that really places God at the center. And this ministry is changing a country. It's not just individual lives that are changing. The country can be changed. And I'll try to share with you some things that stayed with me. I think the main thing that, as I was recalling, is just how far-reaching the impact that each of these areas go to. I was aware of how the individual lives are changed by getting loans to improve their businesses. I've heard the testimony, so have most of you, but I didn't realize the amount of care and prayer and love that goes into selecting the clients, vetting them, selecting the clients, and helping them succeed at every single step along the way. It's not just, here's your loan, we'll see you when we collect, and at the end. They are with them all the way through, and just sharing with them the love of Christ and getting them to be successful. I knew the trust groups where payments were made and they supported each other. But the trust groups are bigger than the group. They build community and accountability. I found it pretty incredible that all these business people, and that is what they are business people, that they meet often, they make their payments, and they support each other so much. So if you met with your business neighbors every other week to talk about your bills and how things are going, would your community be stronger? And we all know that we should save, but what if the idea of saving was completely brand new? Or what if the previous attempts to save had led to betrayal and losses? The savings groups are building trust locally and in diaconia itself. They're showing people what savings looks like. Each person chooses what they want to save for. This part of the ministry is operated in the more rural area, and we met a woman who was able to build a home because of the savings group. She was in her 70s, and she did this. Others are seeing that these lives are improving and they're changing, and they want to be part of it. They want in on it. The chaplains program, I don't know what I can say more about that, but it was such an inspiration. We were able to attend part of their retreat and to see these women gathering there, praising God and getting refreshed to go back into their own neighborhoods to share the love of Christ with each other and hold each other up in care was amazing. Despite the language barrier, you could hear the love for God in their songs and their prayers. Just one more thing back on the clients with the loans. They are such entrepreneurs. The creativity that they have and being able to pivot and turn if things aren't turning out well is amazing. And if this isn't going well, it was wonderful to be able to meet with a few of them and go see what they do. I look forward to going again and seeing how much more God is doing in Paraguay through diaconia.
Good morning. My name is Adela Braun, and I've actually had the privilege of being on the ground in Paraguay, supporting the work of Judah and Mary in Diaconia for the last 11 years. It's been an incredible privilege to see the growth, and currently I actually I've moved to Washington just to kind of grow our U.S. development. And so it's been amazing just to be on this whole journey, and especially I have always been involved a lot in the spiritual work in Diaconia. So last year we served like around 10,000 women just with loans, vocational training, spiritual support. And that is, it's the lives of Jesus came for the one. So just to think that there's been so many ones that have been just impacted has been incredible. But I've also had the privilege to receive teams. So, for the last 10 years or 11 years that FCC has been sending teams down, like I was there at the airport receiving them. And it's been incredible. So Marilyn, I know Marilyn probably since 2017, I think is the same first time you came down with a team. So, and then a lot of the people or women in this room, I feel like I have a lot of friends because you spend 7, 8, 9 days together on the ground and you really create a special bond. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit from the other side, what the impact is when a team comes to serve in Paraguay. You get to experience with your own eyes what happens behind the scenes. When you visit trust groups, you participate and lead different vocational trainings. Some teams have come down and done financial trainings, cooking classes, sewing classes, and have ministered to especially women and children. So, because that's what our focus is. We've had families come down, I don't know from FCC, but from different places, just that come down to serve. And so there's different projects that can be done with the kids too. And you know, as I mentioned before, Jesus came for our hearts, like he wanted our hearts, and he still is going after our hearts. And so the impact in the lives of the people is so much deeper than a finished building or something tangible that we can see is done. It is deep within their hearts. And the Paraguayan culture very often puts itself down. They feel less than other countries. When you come, when you make that huge effort to leave your lives, your homes, your schedules, to go on a missions trip, you go to build a lasting impact in the lives of the people you touch while you are there. And that has a ripple effect into their families and their communities. It's hard sometimes for us to believe what our presence as children of God can do in a place, but I have seen the impact on the lives of the people for the past 10 years, and trust me, it does make a difference. So again, just thank you for coming. Thank you for going, all the different places you go. It is really, really making a difference, and it's making an eternal impact in the lives of many people. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks for sharing, you guys. So you've heard from 4 different groups. We have one more video because one special gal that went on a trip got to go to Hawaii with her family, so she couldn't be here in person. But as this one finishes up, there's Natalie. So let's hear from Natalie.
Hi FCC, this is Natalie Moyer, and I just returned from a 5-month discipleship training school with YWAM, Youth with a Mission. I spent 3 months of lecture phase in Mexico and 2 months of outreach phase in Japan. First of all, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the love, encouragement, prayer, and support. I truly felt it all the way in Japan, and I'm just so thankful for my church family here at FCC. One of the big things that God has been teaching me in the last 5 months is that evangelism is more than just going up to a person, sharing about Jesus, and having all the right answers to lead them to salvation. Evangelism is about seeing the person in front of you, loving them, meeting them where they're at, and then giving them an opportunity to encounter the love of God. My team and I use the 5 love languages to love the people of Japan because one of our teachers said, every time you love someone, they're having an encounter with God because God is love. So in Japan, we love the people through acts of service. We served the local churches. We served our YWAM bases with yard work, housework, just any random little things. We did photo ministry to give people the love of gifts. Our photographers would take a picture of somebody, and we had a digital printer, so we would print the pictures out right away, pray, write a little message from the Holy Spirit, and give the picture as a gift to them. Words of affirmation. We would draw little note cards and write encouraging words to give to people on the streets and the train stations, or we would just go up to people and give them a compliment to start a conversation just about how they are, to see them as a person, and to maybe turn the conversation to Jesus. Another love language is quality time. This was a big deal in Japan because it's kind of an independent culture and everyone keeps to themselves because they don't want to be a burden. So we got to come alongside some of our Japanese friends and give them the gift of quality time, whether that's playing games, teaching them English, or just being together in community. The last love language that we were using is physical touch, and for that we used free hugs. And yes, it was safe. This one was interesting because the people in Japan in the YWAM team were a little hesitant about us doing free hugs because Japanese people are so standoffish, non-confrontational, and not very into physical touch. And one day we just tried it. We said, let's see how it goes. If it's a fail, it's a fail. And we wasted a few minutes, but if not, let's see what can happen. And so we did our free hug ministry, and we had so many people hugging us. They would drop their bikes, they would drop their backpacks, they would jump into our arms, and we automatically knew that this was a need that Japan needs. so we continued to do free hugs. The free hug ministry actually led us to the 2 salvations that we got to see in Japan, which is such a praise because they accepted Jesus through a hug. That is crazy. All that to say, evangelism is more than just having a conversation. So think about, how can you use the 5 love languages to love somebody, give them an encounter with God, and maybe start a conversation about Jesus? A quick testimony that I have about words of encouragement and gifts is one Saturday we were at a park doing ministry to invite people to come to church the next day, and a pastor pointed out a young girl who had not been to church in the last 6 months. And I thought, I'm gonna draw her picture, write her a note, and maybe it'll get her back into the church community. So I go off, I draw this picture, and when I'm finished, I bring it to the pastor. We call the girl over, and he starts translating the note that I wrote for her. And all of a sudden, he stops translating. It got super awkward. I got embarrassed. The girl walked away with the gift, and the pastor just started leaving. And I thought, what did I do? What did I write? I didn't even write anything crazy. But then I just moved on, because in evangelism, we take risks, we try new things, and if it's a fail, it's a fail. But obedience is always worth it, like Pastor Sean says. But then the next day, I was giving my testimony at this church, and at the end of the service, the pastor came up to me with a young girl, and it was actually the girl from the day before who I'd given the gift to. And he said, she read your note, she understood it, she knows what the picture means, and she wants you to pray for her. So I got to pray for her and welcome her back into the church. And it was really beautiful because, yeah, God used my awkward evangelism moment and turned it into something beautiful as he's inviting another one of his children back into his arms. I have so many more testimonies that go with all these 5 love languages, so please come find me. I can share more with you, and I'm just going to leave you with a challenge of go love the people next to you, go love the people in your neighborhood, because God is love and God's love is for everyone. Thank you so much, FCC.
Excellent. So hopefully as you've been listening today, you've been hearing in your head and considering in your heart these different opportunities and things that we have in the last part, the last section of what we want to kind of tell everybody is there's some upcoming things, opportunities that we can do to go and love our neighbors or the person next to us or even somebody in the country next to us. And so I have a few slides, so grab out your notes. I noticed that Sean gave us a big full blank page for notes today. So this is where the notes will take effect. But I think the first slide and the closest dated thing we have is the Lynden Human Life. They need somebody to help remove crosses on May 9th at 5 p.m. I believe that's correct. I think Martin and Winnie have a booth set up in the gym as well. If you have more questions about that, you can go talk with them. The next opportunity is going to be the Walk for Life, and that's on May 17th. I get to go help blow up balloons and park cars. But there's going to be a booth in the back for that as well. Helen and Christine will be back there for that. But it's a great opportunity to take your family and enjoy some treats. There's lots of goodies. There's balloons. You can go and walk. And then I'm usually home by noon to take a nap. So I like that one. The next one I'm going to invite Trisha up for, but it's for the big white box. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one more. Love Life. Maggie is our Love Life representative, and our week that we adopted this year is in June. And so we have the opportunity to hear a message from Sean on June 8th. We have an opportunity to pray as a church for 24 hours on June 11th. And there'll be more information coming out about this. But then we get to go on Saturday and walk and pray down by Planned Parenthood. And it's a really safe, great opportunity to go and really be love in action down there for that. And then connect. There's a way to connect with Love Life after that. And now, Trish, you're up here. Perfect timing because we've got a white box in the back. What's that thing?
Can I get the picture of Ben and Emily and their family put up? So I just wanted to introduce you to Ben and Emily Mooney. For those of you who weren't able to meet them last summer, they came and visited us. They are faithful missionaries in Guatemala, and started many years ago with Ben's parents, Chris and Donna Mooney. Ben is brothers with Judah in Paraguay. And so there are just so many connections. Some of you have been to Guatemala with the Moonies. Their current ministry is focused on mission mobility. So they have teams that come down and they do some housing and food distribution and other felt needs, but their main goal and project is mission mobility, which is providing mobility for people who are unable to get around, whether that's children born with birth defects, whether that's spina bifida, or the elderly. It's really hard for kids to get to school or the elderly to get into their communities without crutches, wheelchairs, just all the different health needs that they have that just aren't available there. So we, when we welcomed them last year and said, what can we pray for? What do you need? They said, we need wheelchairs. They, because of COVID, because of all kinds of complications, they have been having a real difficulty getting wheelchairs. They tried bringing some in from China, ordering them, but the parts weren't good. They didn't hold up as long. And what they found is that filling a container with wheelchairs from the US, quality made parts, was just the best. They have a shop. The praise for them is they were able to move to a new shop where they are able to refit, rework these wheelchairs so they specifically fit them for each individual that they're going to. So our big praise and exciting announcement on the other slide is that we were able, the Lord provided that white container, and so now we are able to start collecting wheelchairs, crutches, electric wheelchairs, parts, walkers, folding upright, canes, crutches, commodes, shower chairs. They also will take, like, as we start to get it full, there's fortified rice, Spanish Bibles, DeWalt cordless tools, and then shoes and clothings. We're going to make this list available, but the main thing is all of us can think, like, are you driving by? I've seen one on the side of the road and picked it up, grabbed it, right? There's people are getting rid of wheelchairs and medical supplies at garage sales, at thrift stores. If you have any connections with local hospitals or nursing homes, our prayer is just to fill that container to the brim and get it sent to them as soon as we can. So, like I said, I'll have a list, we'll make this available, but just be thinking about how we can participate in just filling up that container and sending it down there so they can continue to be a blessing to the community in need.
Awesome. Thank you, Tricia. And if you have stuff now that you want to drop off right away, you can call Freddie or myself. Our numbers are in the church directory. Marilyn, you'll have to hang on your scooter a little longer until the doctor lets you get rid of it. I'm sure she's ready to get rid of that darn thing. But we'll take any and all donations for that and coordinate getting that into the box. And then the last local opportunity, we actually have a couple of different missionaries that attend our church, which is really cool. But Dave Moore is looking for volunteers with Serve and Equip, and so he'll have a table in the back. And I know Dick Rutgers attends our church. He's actually here today. But just to minister and care for him, and I think Christy Jams is also local, but just as we consider the missionaries that are here locally, there's ways to reach out to them and connect with them and care for them. We also have a couple of opportunities to actually go out on trip. We talked about it a little bit with Caden, Sean, and Karsten, and that was the Pasco trip. So Al's meeting with Pastor Jimmy in Pasco today. We're planning on maybe doing up to 2 trips. They'll be shorter, quicker trips because we can kind of do that over a weekend. So if you're interested in that, there will be a sign up in the back table, back far corner in the gym. We could do youth only, we could do all ages, whatever you guys would like there. So if you're interested, that's a nice, quick, short one. The next trip, this one's kind of cool, and the reason I wore my really fancy shirt today and not a tie for Wayne, because he always wants me to wear a tie when I get up here, is we are trying to plan a trip to Thailand in 2026. And I talked with Dustin. He said October is a good time of year to go because it's cool there. It's only 90. But we will have an opportunity to go and serve in 2026 there. And so it'll be a 10-day trip. 7 days will be kind of built around the service part, and then we'll have a couple of days towards the end to kind of unwind and pack and then maybe go see a couple of things, but really to make that trip worthwhile. And the one that we don't have a date set around yet except for the year is in 2027. Emory really wants someone or a group from Faith Community to come to Turkey. And so in 2027, I'd like to set that as a goal for us. Emery, again, probably a 10-day trip or so, but on that one, we'll do 7 days of service. And then he really wants to take us to tour the 9 churches over there, which is really cool because it's what we read about in the Bible. So those are some upcoming opportunities to actually go on a trip. And then we have, kind of to entice you to go talk to the people at the tables, we have cake after the service, which I think has been mentioned once already. So go grab a piece of cake and talk to the people that are at those tables. And then if you're interested as well, we also have opportunity if you're interested in serving on the missions committee and you have a passion for missions. There are several of us running around here. You've seen some of us come up today. I don't know if there's a list out, but you'll see us in the back kind of running cake and this and that everywhere. So that's kind of the opportunities we had coming up. So I think there's going to be one more song, but let me close this time with just a word of prayer, and then I'll invite the worship team to come back up. Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for how you use us. You use our gifts, you use our talents, you use our willingness to just go and serve. And so, Lord, as we consider what we've heard and look at opportunities that are coming, would you just work in our hearts to love the person next to us or love the person in the country next to us? Lord, if your spirit is moving for someone to sign up and do one of these activities, would you just give them the courage to do that, and that we can continue to be a community that not only loves each other well here, but loves our neighbors and loves those around us. So I just thank you for the opportunity we've had today to share what's been going on in just your body here, but also in the body and the community locally with joining with other churches. So I just thank you for that. In your name, amen.